The submarine service branch of the U.S. Navy held more difficulty and danger than any other branch. Here we are at the USS Pampanito, also known as the SS-383. She was one of the first 10 ships to be built in Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, New Hampshire's new building basin. She was commissioned on November 6, 1943 because of the demands of World War II and was launched on July 12, 1943. She was built in just 9 months and represented the state-of-the-art in submarine design and construction, for she was the most advanced fighting system of her day. Finally, she was designated as a National Historical Landmark in 1986. Here's a brief tour of her 311 feet and 8 inches in length, and I'll explain more about her history and how she served in World War II. The Pampanito is 300 feet and 8 inches in length, 27 feet 3 inches in the beam, and displaces 1,525 tons. In the surface condition, submarines are still called boats according to maritime.org. She can go from the surface to 60 feet deep water in under 30 seconds. However, submarines spend most of their time on the surface. As you can see, she is painted 2 shades of haze gray to blend in with the horizon, and the horizontal surfaces are painted black so the boat would blend in with the deep. As we walk on the main deck, we will descend to the after torpedo room, which carries 8 of the 24 torpedoes aboard the Pampanito, and you can also see bunks. During war patrol, as explained by maritime.org, there were 4 torpedoes on skids, 4 torpedoes in the tubes, up to 15 bunks, the crew's personal lockers, the bosun's locker, and storage for spare parts and tools. Move on to the maneuvering room, which is where changes in speed were made in response to orders from the conning tower, bridge, or control room. She could go a max of 21 knots, or about 24 miles per hour on the surface, and about 9 knots when submerged. Here you can see some of the instruments and equipment which show the speed and direction, temperature of the motor and gears, and other meters. Moving forth through another hatchway, you come into the engine room, which power from each engine is converted to electrical energy by the generators. This power, explained by Maritime Museum, was used to charge the batteries or to power the main propulsion motors, or both. There are 4 engines altogether, and the first 2 are located in the forward engine room. Moving further, you come to the battery compartment, or crew berthing. Firstly, you see 2 toilets, the washroom, 2 showers, and a washing machine. The crew berthing, or space, contained 36 bunks. However, there were usually more men than bunks. Usually 70 men share these faculties, and during Pampanito's 3rd patrol there were 162 men aboard. Normally 3 men shared 2 bunks, and during patrol those without bunks usually fit in wherever they could. The small galley is where the food for all the men on the boat were prepared, and cooks and bakers worked around the clock to feed the crew. The benches seated underneath the tables were used as storage. However, there was still not enough room to store enough food to complete a 60 to 90-day war patrol, according to the museum's website. Now we come to the officers' quarters, where the officers ate, slept, and worked. The relationship between the crew and officers was closer and relied on mutual respect and a bit less on discipline. Here we see P.E. Summers' quarters, who commanded Pampanito for most of the war. There are also the quarters of the lieutenants, who shared quarters. The lower grade officers bunked with the rest of the crew, and there was, however, not much privacy for anyone, as described on the museum's website. He had a total of 4 commanding officers, 2 of which commanded for 6 of her war patrols. Finally, we come to the forward torpedo room, which was sleeping quarters for 14 men, and the space was shared with 16 torpedoes, where torpedo tubes were always loaded and ready to fire. You can also see the escape trunk, which was accessed through a hatch in the overhead in the center of the compartment. This area could be flooded and drained to allow the submarine to be evacuated. Climbing up the stairs, you come to the outside of the submarine again. On the front end of the boat, however, when you look at the center of the boat, you can see the 4-inch main deck gun in front of the conning towers, as well as the 20mm gun. On the aft, essentially behind the conning towers, is a 40mm anti-aircraft gun. This and the gun in the forward could be operated at semi or full automatic rates, according to maritime.org. USS 383 is a historic part of the United States as well as California. for the landmark is now located in one of the piers in San Francisco and can be visited daily. A fun fact is the broom on top of the conning towers meant a queen's sleep, which they put up when a crew returned from a successful war patrol and had swept the seas clear of the enemy. The submarine also plays a crucial role in World War II and stands as a memorial to the men who never returned home and were on an eternal patrol, as described by Maritime.org. She served in 6 war patrols, sank 6 ships, and damaged 4 others. I hope you have experienced a brief look into history during World War II and how it was for the crews on the Pampanito.